Hello, everyone. We have figured out all of the computer. So, shoutouts to tech savvy me because I did it. But anyway, I have my best friend Nick on here. He's my guy. If you're familiar with the channel, he was one of the first co-hosts when we did podcast stuff. So, shoutouts to the OG, my guy. Nick, you could say what's up.
Well, what's good, people?
Yeah, so Nick is a big fan of He Is Legend. I absolutely know probably like the bare minimum about He Is Legend. So I'm hoping that people who are fans are in the chat, let us know what's good. We're not gonna know all of it, so if there are people that are smarter than us, then absolutely tell us what's good because we're dumb. We big dummies.
Yeah. Well, if I'm being honest, I remember the first 3 albums the best because
Okay.
CDs were back then. We didn't really have streaming media like we did now. So I remember seeing an article where after they did It Hates You, they were going on a permanent hiatus or something. So I kind of just forgot about them for a minute. Like I still had those 3 albums I listened to.
Mm-hmm.
But like maybe a year or two ago, I looked them up. I think when you were telling me about the vinyl, and that's when it's like, oh, there's 3 more albums. So it's like,
So
you know,
we're
I'm stuck in, like, the
behind.
first 3
That's what.
albums. Yeah, I'm a little stunted.
We are all behind, so I hope that again you'll let us know what's going on, what's good, all that sort of stuff. So again, thank you guys for watching. If you are watching this currently, you'll probably get all the songs. If not, like I said, don't know too much about the boys in He Is Legend, but I am very excited to get into this album. Nick, you could talk about the singles you listened to because I didn't listen to any of it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I listened to the singles. Sorry, just said that. I remember. I'm trying to get the track list here real quick. "Honey from the Hive" was a pretty solid track. I really liked that one. God, I'm trying to remember the ones I only watched them like once last night.
That's
I
all
think
good.
"Lifeless Lemonade" was another one of them. That one was good. I listened to all 4 of them back to back. They all sounded really good. But the 2 that stood out to me were "Honey from the Hive" and "Lifeless Lemonade."
All right. Well, those are back to back, so I'm very excited about that. We did have a little teensy taste of the Prowler, so we will get into that one too. But guys, check the links below. It will have all of the links for He Is Legend to go pick up Endless Hallway. It's out on vinyl. I think they have CDs, they have merch, all that sort of stuff. So go pick it up. You already know me and Nick are vinyl heads, so don't buy them. I'm just kidding. Definitely buy them, but just like message us first. Okay. but very excited to get into this. So again, thanks to Nick for joining me because I feel like he's gonna get a lot of enjoyment out of it, and also I'm gonna get a lot of enjoyment out of it for not having a guest on. So I'm excited to have my best friend Nick with me on this journey. So, but anyway, we're gonna get into the first song out of 12, which is kind of nuts. This one is called "The Prowler." So let's give it a listen.
That was dope.
All right, guys.
That dropped the slowdown.
The slowdown was nuts, guys. That was the first song, "The Prowler," off of He Is Legend's newest album, "Endless Hallway." Go check the links below to go pick it up. But this one was great. I honestly, like I said, never really gave a lot of thought behind listening to He Is Legend. That's not to discount their band, but I never really I was never really into him as much as I remember I grabbed I think I grabbed you I Am Hollywood, right, on vinyl.
Yeah, that's their first album. Yeah.
And I had no idea what I was getting into with this album because I feel like this is the technical first He Is Legend album I really listened to just now.
Mm-hmm.
And this is sick. It's got a real kind of southern rock metal kind of feel.
Yeah, because I was listening to some of their older tracks earlier, and I was thinking it started off sounding different, but it kind of turned southern rockish or what's it called?
It's southern metal, I guess.
Yeah, something like that.
It's like a Maylene, a Maylene kind of vibe.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was sick. That beginning part felt really genty for some reason.
Mm.
I feel like they added a lot more like I feel like a lot of the guitar work on this song felt very like rhythmic. I don't know.
Mhm.
What did you think
Drums were
about it,
pretty
Nick?
good on it too.
The
I liked
drums
the
were
drums on
sick.
it. The guitars were great, but yeah, drums were sick as well.
Also, their
That whole
vocalist is
song.
really cool. I like his style of. I don't know if whether I feel like his vocal style is gonna grow on me, but he's kind of got like that like rasp to his voice.
Yeah, and it's funny. I went back and listened to the older CDs because specifically, the first album he actually kind of sang higher, but it was
Oh,
clean. There was like no
okay.
rasp. And then the second album they released was they did a "Suck Out the Poison," and that was the first album that I really started hearing the rasp come through. But then by
Hmm.
the third one, "It Hates You," that's when he like dropped down, and now it's got like that awesome like sort of deep grit to
Yeah,
it.
yeah. He's got
Since
that.
then, but yeah, yeah.
It's sick. I like this, and then also as Nick pointed out, that drop, like when they, the meme about like just play the riff but slower. That's what they did. So gotta appreciate that. That was truly like, all right, let's take it down like some tempo, like and just really just slam it. And I honestly, it was sick. I liked it. Felt very like again, super riffy. I like that. And then also the fact that the lead guitar on this song was also so sick. Like, especially that
Yeah,
build up before the breakdown with the like, it almost felt like really shreddy and really like southern rocky kind of vibes. So I like this one
yeah.
a lot for not
Definitely a
knowing
good
this
track
band.
to start the album off with.
Yeah. And did it kind of, I guess for you, Nick, did it feel like, did this kind of feel like old stuff, like in terms of like previous albums, or is it kind of
Uh,
branching into new territories? You think?
Nah, it seems like it's got some of the stuff,
Okay.
but also different stuff. Yeah, I don't know how to elaborate on it very well. I apologize, but it's like it's totally them, but it's just on a different level. I guess would be better put.
No, 100%. Like I said, I don't have know anything about this band, but I like this one a lot. I think for me, like being a new listener to He Is Legend, I enjoyed this one a lot. This one was fun.
Yeah, Prowler
Good.
was
I
solid.
like I feel like when you have to have like an album, because I don't, do you know how long of a time frame it was between this album? I'll actually look it up real quick.
I
I'm
got it here
curious.
on my phone. Um, their last release was 2019. They did White Bat in 2019.
Oh yes, they did. Okay, so that would be 2019, 2020,
Like a
2021,
solid
2020.
3 years,
Like
3 or 4 years.
3 4 years. Yeah, that's a pretty long time to like be working on an album. So I
Hmm.
think well spent
They did good
time.
work.
They put in that work, and I'm always very curious with like a first song in an album if that's really gonna hook me in. And I felt like with
Hmm.
this song, I was immediately like just they like just picked me up and like threw me into the pit, So I was
Yeah,
about it. That was
yeah, that
awesome.
was a great opener.
Great opener, Prowler. Check it out. We're gonna be checking out the entire album, so keep posted. But we're going to move it on to track two, which is Lifeless Lemonade. This was the one that you heard, right, Nick?
It's one of them.
All right, let's get into it in three, two, one.
He does not. Leg day is his only day.
He only goes for legs. Shouts to the man. All right, guys, if
Yes.
you're just tuning in, this is track dos off of He Is Legend's newest album, Endless Hallway. This one is called Lifeless Lemonade. I want to say they hit that fine point of like heaviness so well.
Yeah.
Like this
Mm.
one was like way like I thought the Prowler was like real kind of like southern metal kind of vibe, but this one had more of a like genty. I don't know
Yes.
when they switched it up, but this is cool. I like this.
Yeah, that was definitely genty as hell. I don't remember specifically, but I feel like Honey from the Hive's gonna hit even harder.
Ooh, all right,
If
all
I'm
right,
remembering correctly, I
all
think
right.
that was gonna be even more with the heaviness.
Wow, they're really bringing it. They're bringing the heat. But I also liked the fact, I don't know if you picked up on this, Nick, or not, but in the
Mm.
chorus, when he's like ba ba ba, like doing that vocal line, like
Mm.
the guitar's bending at the same time he's doing the vocal line.
Ah, no, I missed that.
That shit was wild. I was like, what?
It
That's so
sounded good,
sick.
but I missed it.
It just hit like on that like perfect like musical parallel that I was just like I listened to it when the first chorus came around, and I was like, no way, there's no way that they decided to do that. And then in that second chorus, I heard it, and I was like, what's
The
going on
voice is
here?
impressive.
This is impressive. I feel like I feel like an idiot for not checking this band out before. You know?
I would actually, if I would recommend going back and listening to I Am Hollywood because it's so different than what this is. It's still good, but it's
Yeah,
just different. Like you can
yeah.
tell it's him, but there's very little rasp. It's higher, like he just sings higher on that album. It's good, but just hearing this and going back to that, it's a little,
Jarring.
yeah,
I could totally see that. I did like in the bridge you could hear, and I think I mentioned it. I was trying to like scream over the song, but um I did like the fact that he like really like when he gets into the clean vocals, he really cleans it up. Like
yeah.
there's no
Mhm.
rasp whatsoever.
And that those parts, like that's how pretty much their first album just is, which is why it's just fun to
So
listen to the old
weird.
stuff and then the stuff now because the stuff now hits different than it did back in the day.
It hit different, you know.
Hmm.
But yeah, no, this one was great. I again love the rhythm on this, and I gotta give a shout out to their drummer. I'm gonna pull his name up on Wiki, but his drumming skills are nuts. Like I want to give him a massive shout out because for me, I was impressed, especially with like the double bass work.
Yeah,
Jesse,
he's got endurance.
shouts to Jesse. Salutes to my guy Jesse. My man does not skip leg day. He was really hitting it home, especially in that like last bit when like the song kind of like trails out. He's still
Yeah, he
hitting
was
them
just
double
on it.
bass pedals. It's wild. And then just to kind of run through all of the other members of the band as well. Schuler is the lead vocalist. Adam is their lead guitar player, and Maddie is their bass player. So there we go. Shout outs to the boys. He is legend. Come on the channel. Be sick.
Do it.
I feel like Nick would freak out. I'll have Nick
I'd tune in
interview
for
them.
that one.
I'll have
Oh
Nick
God,
interview
no, that would be miserable. Utterly
for
miserable.
like old times sake. But yeah, no, I think that I think this is pretty interesting thus far. I don't think there's been an album that has kind of put me in my place in a way where I was like, okay, I kind of have an idea of what they sound like, and this like threw every idea that I had about He Is Legend out the window. You know,
It's good though, right?
it is good. Like I was genuinely like when I had originally messaged Nick to come on and do this because I obviously had no idea like what I was gonna be getting into with this band. I like the fact that this is just like kind of like there is like a decent bit of southernness to this like album because obviously they're from North Carolina, but
Mm.
also it's got this like great heaviness to it that I felt like maybe with previous albums I was just like it just didn't quite land with me. And this one with this album thus far and just kind of getting through all the songs I've been like, yo, this is kind of fire, this kind of I feel like I've discovered gold. I'm like one of the fucking settlers, just being like, "Yeah, I'm mining for some gold." And this band is like, really, this album really has surprised me, and we're only 2 tracks into this album already, so I like it.
Next one's a
This is
good
cool.
one too.
Next one's a good one. Okay, well, we'll
Hmm.
get into that one, guys. Let us know in the chat or in the comments what your favorite songs off of Endless Hallway are. Would love to know down below or in the chat. So thanks for hanging out if you're in the chat as well. Love you. But we're going to move it on to track 3, which is Honey from the Hive. Let's give this bad boy a little spin. What the hell?
That was great.
What? Oh my god, guys. Track 3, Honey from the Hive. Jeez. Wow, they really. This one, I don't think I got into immediately, but then once that second chorus hits, it's like, bro, you're already in it. Like,
Like a slow burn, kind of.
it's like a slow burn. I think this one will grow on me more. I think Prowler and Lifeless Lemonade were just like immediate. Like, I already knew I was gonna love them.
Hmm.
This one I think was just a little bit. I think it was just like a little off. I do like the fact that he has like his like real raspy vocals and then like the ad lib like like dubs like of his other vocals, like his clean vocals, like over on like either like laid on top or like maybe as a harmony or something like that. I did like that. That was very cool. But yeah, I don't know. This one was good except for like the ending. That ending part was just gnarly. I love that.
Top notch.
I also like the guitar work. They switched it up like in the second part of the verse, the second verse. Like the
Hmm.
guitar line changed, and I thought that was really neat. But yeah, all the guitar work on this is fucking nuts. Like I realized like shout outs to Greyhaven. Now I know like why I love them so much and why I feel like an idiot for not checking out He Is Legend, because I feel like Greyhaven kind of takes some inspiration from them as well, because they kind of got that like southern kind of vibe to them, you know. So
Oh, I actually haven't listened to them yet. I know you've been telling me about them, but I keep
oof,
forgetting. So
you
I'll
need to
have to
check it
check
out.
them out after
Also,
this.
I'll have to give a I'll do it live. I'll do it live on stream, but I got to give a shout out to Brent. He mailed this out to me. This is their first album, Cult America, which I didn't think I was gonna get. So shout outs to Brent. He's my guy. I love him. But yeah, I thought this one was very good. Like I said, not knowing anything about this band and coming into this album like with a fresh perspective on what they're doing, I thought this one was good. I love the way that they kind of construct songs where I feel like there's like it starts off with like a nice build, and then once you get to like the chorus, then everything like opens up. You
Yeah.
know, I thought that was really tight. Do you have
Mm.
a favorite? Do you have a favorite part about this song? Because I feel like you hyped this one up a lot.
I just I like how they changed it so much in the different parts. I guess
Yeah,
I like that sort of because if I'm remembering why I liked it so much last night when I listened to it, it's probably because it didn't stay in one place. It moved around a little bit,
yeah. I feel like it doesn't stay
and
the
that to me
same.
was impressive.
Yeah, I think it kind of like evolves as the song progresses, and then by the end, you
Yeah.
get hit with like that blast beat section.
Hmm.
I was like so thrown that there is like that they threw in a blast beat part. Like
Yeah, that part was sick.
I was like, bro, you eviscerated me. Like I don't even get it. I was like so thrown away by that. So I like that. That was cool. This one I think I have to listen to a little bit more to like really understand why I like this one. But I think at the base level, I've liked all of these songs. But I think Prowler and Lifeless Lemonade were like right out the gate, like karate chop your fucking soul, you know? Just
Yeah, they're
like
good album openers.
they were both fantastic album openers, and I feel like and then was there any other song on here that you had listened to beyond Lifeless Lemonade and Honey from the Hive? Or
Uh,
were those the only two? Because I'm
I
curious
remember.
if you listen to like a song like further along in the album, if they kind of keep the same vibe.
I remember. Let me see if I can find this on my phone. Honey from the Hive, Lifeless Lemonade. I think Sour was
Oh,
one of the
Sour. Okay.
singles.
All
Sour,
right.
and then that one was good too. I can't remember what the fourth one was though.
We'll have
I
to.
remember Sour, and I liked all of them. I was like, damn, it's gonna be good. But
So I think you definitely hinted at like how good this album is gonna be. So I like this. This is great. Um Again, guys, let us know in the comments what you're feeling. What's the vibes on this album. So we're gonna move it
vibe
on
check.
to track 4, Return to the Garden. Neither Nick nor I have heard these ones. So we're on fresh ground here. So let's give this bad boy a spin. All right, guys, that was Return to the Garden, track 4 off of He Is Legends, Endless Hallway. This one's the best one yet, I think. I would argue.
Yeah, that one. It was good, and it was also another mover. Moved around a lot.
It did
Didn't stay
move
the
around a
same.
lot, yeah. The I like after that beginning part, it felt very Avenged Sevenfold. Like
Yeah, I felt.
it had to have
I heard
been.
the A7X in there,
Yeah, it was like "Arrgh!" Like the kind of like
like
the I can't.
Backcountry or something.
Oh yeah, it definitely felt like backcountry inspired. Which again, growing up and playing, Nick and I would know. We played a lot of like Guitar Hero, Rock Band, that shit. So That's how you know. That felt very like backcountry, and I was all about it, all about it. Um, I did like the different vocal techniques that they did. They like pitch shift his voice down to sound like like really
Yeah, it was
low.
cool.
That was very tight. I think the production on this album is insane. This is
Yeah,
not. It is nuts. But yeah, I like this one. Moved around a ton. Um, I also liked just the riffs were super tight, especially in that chorus where like the
every
guitar riff
everything
was
so far
nuts.
has been really catchy.
Yeah. And I feel like there's been such a vibe, like it definitely has that very again, that very southern kind of like rock metal kind of feel to it. And I like
Yeah,
that they're doing it, but I think with each song it's like just a different variation of that.
yeah, I
And
agree.
but yeah, this one was nuts. I thought this one was the best one I've heard on this album thus far. I just thought it was really unique. Um that last break was nuts, especially when they just kept pitching his vocals further further down towards the end. That was nuts.
Hmm.
But yeah, this one was a fun track, fun one, and I think this just makes me want to buy the record now. I'm gonna have to go pick it up because
Like
I
the vinyl.
yeah, oh 100%, yeah.
Damn,
I gotta
I
cop
didn't
the
know they
vinyl.
put one out. I'll have to try and cop one too if I got the money.
Well, we'll have to cop one for sure because I think this one is like I'm already loving this album. We're only 4 songs in, and I think this one is like I think this could have the potential to be album of the year for sure. Like it's close. Like I've had some really good albums that I loved, but this
Mm,
one's definitely up there on like first pass through. I'm loving this shit. This is fun. This is a fun vibe, and I think it keeps it like I think it keeps it interesting because I don't feel like with what they're doing, like you said, each song has like different variations, like as the
mm,
song kind of progresses.
yeah,
Uh, and I like
keeps
that. I think
things interesting.
it does keep things interesting, and I think the way that they have like just altered the voices, like I think Schuler's voice, like they've altered it so much that like he does the stuff where he has the great clean vocals, and then they like pitch shift his vocals down. And he kind of sounds like a monster a little bit, and then they like hit him with the rasp. It's just all over the place, and I think that that's really sick. In I think it was the bridge portion where it kind of had like this like choir kind of like vocals in the background. I thought that was really wild. That was insane. I don't know if it was like an actual choir or if they like, had like done it in post or whatever, but
Yeah.
that just made it sound like super ominous and like dark.
Hmm.
And I like that. That was
Yeah.
really cool. So yeah,
Yes. That was
this
dope.
one's my favorite thus far. I feel like this is number one. This one's gonna be hard to beat. So uh
I also would like to point out, just looking at the track listing, most of their songs are like right around 4 minutes, which is pretty cool because I'm used to like bands these days having songs that are just quicker, like 2.5 minutes and just
yeah.
under three. So I like the commitment to longer songs.
Yeah, it feels like more fleshed out, and the album sits at like 40, like almost 48 minutes long, which is like for 12 songs, that's like a pretty hefty album, I would say.
Mm,
So kudos to He's Legend for putting out a bunch of
putting
bangers.
out these bangers.
These are hot. These are hot. Also, I totally realized that we were both wearing Bill Murray merch.
Yeah, I was gonna point it out in the beginning, but I got the shirt,
Big
you got the hat.
Big shouts, big shouts. Love Bill Murray, the guy. I wish I could have had Nick on for Goblin Hours. That would have been fun. But
That would have been great.
I
I
feel
love
like
Goblin
I
Hours.
feel like his take on the album was much different than my take on the album. So
I had to grow on it. If I'm being honest, it was good. I liked all of it, but it was an album to grow with for me.
oh, this is definitely well sidebar. Goblin Hours is 100% of my albums of the year list. I literally have beaten that album into the ground. So, and every opportunity that I have to sing it in my shower, I'll do it. So I feel like vibes. Shouts to Bill Murray. But we're going to move it on to track 5, Circus Circus. We haven't. I don't think either of us have listened to this one. So let's give this bad boy a spin. That was nuts.
Instant favorite.
That was nuts. Oh, guys. Track 5, Circus Circus. He is Legend, Endless Hallway, out now. Check the links in the description. Wow, this one was nuts. Like that beginning
Yeah.
part, I was like, what are they gonna do with this? And it felt like everything was just so all over the place. Like the guitar work, the vocals, the way that they like changed up, like they had him sound like a fucking alien. Like it just sounded nuts. And like the
Yeah, and
rhythm was really wild.
they had those that wheelie guitars in the beginning, and I don't typically like them, but the way they put it in with the heavy sort of
Oh, the like the
admit it.
dissonant.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Normally I can't stand that because it just like buzzes my ears, but it was dope. I
Yeah,
enjoyed it for this track.
this one was wild, and then I did like this switch up again. I think what they do well is like they throw you in suspense. Like you think one thing is gonna happen that way, and then in the next chorus they hit you with something completely different, and then
Hmm.
they'll go back to the original thought on that first chorus, which is what had happened in like that second chorus. He like cleaned it up a ton, and he had that really great like clean tone. But in that first and last chorus that they did, it had this like grit that he kind of is like I would imagine is very signature to his sound now. But
Hmm.
but yeah, that was wild, and I couldn't help but think it kind of had like almost like a Michael Jackson kind of like vocal line, like he's like da 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 da, like that kind of like
Oh, okay, yeah.
it kind of
Yeah, I
has
get
like
what
a
you mean.
Michael Jackson feel to it, you know? So I don't know if that
Hmm.
was, I feel like it's unintentional, but it definitely had that kind of like, yeah, like the way he like
Hmm.
vocally, like rhythmically kind of put it all together. It was really tight. But
Yeah.
yeah, this one was, oh man, I don't know. I still think Return to the Garden was a little bit better, but I would say Circus Circus is like a very close second in terms of my favorite now.
It's my favorite so far.
Oh,
Just for
okay.
how all over the place it was.
It was
Like you
very
were saying in the
chaotic.
beginning, it was one thing and it moved.
But I did
Yeah.
like that they circled back and hit you with the 180 at the end where they had that really like spastic beginning part. I did like the
Yeah.
fact that they re-emerged at the end with that. That was really cool. But yeah, this one was
Yeah.
wild. Like arguably
Yeah.
I would say it's arguably their most diverse track on
Yeah,
the
because
album thus far.
in the other two tracks that moved around like that, they kind of just stayed. Like as it moved, they stayed in it. But like you said, this one it came back around and they met it back at the beginning, kind of.
Yeah, it
So
was
yeah.
like you could hit repeat on this one and not miss a beat. You know,
Hmm.
it was kind of nuts. And I think like again, I gotta give a shout outs to either I don't know if they self produced or not on this album, but I gotta give it whoever did the production work on this album must have spent so much time like figuring out like what's gonna be like how everything's gonna sit in the song because I can imagine this must have been like an absolute nightmare, especially this song specifically because this one feels like the most
Yeah.
chaotic. So
Yeah.
kudos. I want to see if maybe it might be on their wiki, but yeah, I really like this one. This one was very cool. It does not say who produced it, but yeah, this one was good. So this is Nick's favorite. I feel like it's gonna be a hard one to beat. Honestly, this one might be a hard one to beat.
What was your favorite so far again?
I would say thus far, if I had to put them all in order, I probably do Return to the Garden. I probably second. I'd probably put Circus Circus. I'd probably tie the Prowler and Lifeless Lemonade together, and I'd say Honey from the Hive is my least favorite. And that's really not saying a lot because I feel like they're all so good.
Yeah,
So
they've all
that's
been
tough.
bangers.
But
It's just
what
a
about you,
tier of
Nick?
banger.
What
Yeah, no, I'd say I'd probably exactly the same, just switch it around. Well, actually, I guess I'd go Circus Circus, Return to the Garden, Honey from the Hive, and then the I don't know, I kind of because I don't want to make a last place because they're all winners. Like
I don't want to. I want
so
to
far
say
they've been
that
solid.
I want to say we're gonna circle back to this question at the end, but yeah, for right now, I feel like those are the ones that to me, I feel like Return to the Garden and Circus Circus are the standout ones, and
Top two so far.
I'm glad that they weren't singles because I feel like it might not have translated as well, but
Yeah,
yeah, this is great. This is a fucking fantastic record. So thanks for joining me, Nick, on this journey
no,
because
no problem, brother.
this is great. So we're gonna check out track 6. This one is called Seamstress. So let's give this one a listen. That was wild. That ending was nuts.
What a journey.
What a journey of a track, guys. If you're just tuning in, this was track 6 called Seamstress off of He Is Legend's newest album, Endless Hallway. Out now. Go pick it up. Yeah, this one was interesting. I think this one was the most straightforward, and that's saying a lot considering that I feel like all of the other songs kind of changed up. This one felt like uh the most straightforward of the songs. Would you care to agree with that one, or you think it was a little bit different?
Um,
I think from like verse chorus, and then like hit you with a bridge, and then hit you with like that last like chorus. I feel like it was
okay. Yeah, I'd agree. I'd agree. I felt like
like
it was the most different song of theirs so far, but yeah, it kind of stayed consistent.
yeah, and that's not a bad thing. I think it's nice that they can like have a song that's just not like as crazy, like
It's
that.
not balls to the fucking
Not
wall.
the balls to the fucking wall. Not to say that that's a bad thing, because I really have enjoyed all of them, but yeah, this one felt like the most like tame, which I'm totally cool with. And the chorus had, I don't know if you got this sort of vibe or if you really listened to this band a ton, but Muse. It gave me kind of like a Muse vibe, like very like a Matt Bellamy, the
I haven't
vocalist.
heard much from them, but now that you're saying it, yeah, the few songs that I have heard,
It
I would
had
definitely
like,
say
it
it's
kind of
like
had like a
reminiscent
Muse.
of, yeah,
It was great. I liked it. I thought this one
yeah,
was
it's a good
also
track.
this one also was really cool, and that ending with like the vocals, like it felt very like choir esque, very
Hmm.
a cappella, So
Yeah.
I appreciated this one. This one was a fun one. I don't know if there was anything else to really like point out. Like I feel like with all the other songs, we have like dissected
This
the
one
literal shit
was
out of it.
this one's a straight shooter,
This
but
one is very much a straight shooter. Yeah.
shout out to Meatball in the back. I saw him climbing around on the chair.
Hey, there he is, my guy right back there. He's right there. The big meat boy.
The
But
meat.
yeah. Yeah, this one was good. I think this one was nice because it splits the album in half.
Hmm.
Where like I feel like this first half of this album was just like pretty much chaoticness
Yeah.
encapsulated. So I'm curious if this second half of the album is like more tame or if they just like go buck wild, like even
I,
more
I
so.
hope they go buck wild this again at some point.
All right. Well, we're gonna find out, guys. But yeah, I like this one. I think this one, like, I think we should have probably saved the question that we talked about in the previous song, Circus Circus, for this track because this is like the halfway point. So I do I don't know where I would put Seamstress though, like in my listing now. I feel like it's kind of somewhere in the middle. I definitely feel like it might be above Honey from the Hive, but I don't know if it's as good as like the Prowler and Lifeless Lemonade.
So far, yeah, I think I wouldn't want to put them in order, but if I could say a top three so far, probably Circus Circus. Again, I'm the outlier on this one. I really like Honey from the Hive, and then or Circus Circus Return to the Garden, and then Honey from the Hive,
Oh, so you're
and then the
five,
rest
four,
of
or
them.
three.
The rest of them, I'd say, yeah, I don't know. They've all been really good songs. So
I mean, this isn't like a definitive edition here, but I do like all of them. So I want to preface that I don't hate any of them. They all are really great. But if I had to kind of like tier list them out for now, and then I think we can round
Honey from
out.
the Hive is going last.
But yeah, if I had to say the worst song, no, I'm kidding. No, that one was good, but I've thoroughly enjoyed. I think like for being halfway through the album and not knowing anything about the band, like as of maybe like an hour ago, I think this is a great introduction. Obviously, I don't know if all of the previous albums sound like this. I can imagine they don't, um, but I'll go back and listen to I'm Hollywood because I feel like that's a big Nick recommendation. And I told him when I handed him the vinyl that I had not listened to this album before, so now I have to.
Yeah, he is, or I am Hollywood. It's just it's this. Like you'll hear where he does the cleans and this stuff. Like that's pretty much that entire album. He does screaming on it and everything. So it's all the same. You just if you go through and pick like two songs out of each album as you go through, you'll hear the difference to where like by the time they got to It Hates You, like that was their sound. but yeah, nah, it's been great so far.
This has been fire. So let's keep this fire sale going with track 7. This one's called Sour. You said you had listened to this one, right, Nick?
Yeah, this was one of the
The Singies.
the singies they put out. Yeah,
All right. Well,
and I
guys,
didn't hate any of the singles. They were all solid tracks. I mean, these other ones that were going through that weren't part of the singles are
heat.
absolute bangers. But
They're heat. Yeah, they really saved like some of the best songs as not singles, and I'm so happy
yeah,
about that.
I appreciate that.
So let's get into Sour, guys. Let's listen to this bad boy. All right, guys, if you're just tuning in, this was track 7 called Sour off of He Is Legend's newest album, Endless Hallway. I like this one. This one was cool.
It's
I was unsure of how it was gonna go, but then after that like intro, it really picked up.
Yeah, I remember listening to it last night, and because the intro is just kind of way different than what
Oh yeah,
we've been hearing is, but I remember it picking up. I like the falsetto.
yes. Oh yeah, his
Falsetto was
falsetto
tight.
is sick. Yeah.
Um, just from listening to him for as long as I have, this is like I Am Hollywood. Like
Yes. Yeah.
it feels a lot like it would be on that album. So I like that because I like the original,
The OGs.
stuff. Yeah,
The OGs.
OG
The
content.
OGs. Yeah. I I think the I gotta give a lot of credit to the band itself because I think this instrumental, like, just if you scrap out the vocals, I think the instrumental on this song is so good. Like the
Yeah,
riffs on this were super tight. I love that the bass is like more at the forefront of the song. You could hear a lot of like the bass riffing going on here,
yeah.
and I feel like you don't get that a lot. And this one just felt like everybody was going like ham, and I like
Mm-hmm.
that.
Yeah,
That chorus is fire too. Like his clean vocals, like when that first chorus hits, ooh, that was so good. I don't know why he
yeah.
doesn't do like more of the like I don't know. I feel like I'm kind of in the camp that I do like his raspy vocals, but honestly his clean vocals without any rasp is like so good. Like I'm surprised he doesn't utilize that a lot more.
Yeah, you'll definitely have to go back and listen to the first album because the first album, if there was rasp, it was very little. It was mainly just kind of like, and even in this album when he is doing the clean singing, he used to like if this is where he is now, he used to be like
Just a
here
smidge
vocally
higher. Okay.
constantly, like throughout the album. But now that it's down here, so like it's different. But yeah, I feel like if you went and listened to that album and then you listen to Sour, you'd be like, okay, so this is like sort of
This
like
is
a piece of where they were, but
this is
now they're
him
here.
now. Yeah. I think that there's just I don't know, like I think his vocals have such a variety to it that like again, I don't not to discount like the rasp because I certainly enjoy that as well. Um I just feel like in that chorus I was just like super hyped that clean vocals came in and I was like, yeah, this is really good. And then the rasp I think adds a lot of dimension to his vocals as well because it's just like you could have something where you like say it and the clean vocals are nice, but like when he hits you with that rasp, it's like,
Mhm.
ooh, you feel it in the chest, you know?
Gives it the grit, yeah.
It gives it the grit. So I do like that. But yeah, the instrumentation on this was really sick. I do like the fact that closer to the end of the song where they very similarly to Circus Circus, where they had that like beginning like riff, and then
Hmm.
they rehashed that riff, but then like
Yeah,
full banded it, and I appreciate that. I thought that was very nice because I love when bands do that like kind of callback on a
hmm.
song. So that was neat. So yeah,
It
this
was a
one was
nice
great.
touch. Yeah,
This one was a good one. I think comparatively, I guess you could speak on this too, Nick, as well. But I think comparatively on this album, it's like I can see where they were going with having this like song as a single. I think it has like
yeah,
a good mix. And like some of the other songs that were released, like "Honey from the Hive" and "Lifeless Lemonade," like those two, you were like, okay, shit, they're going like super heavy. And "Sour," I feel like is a nice like counterpoint to people who are like, oh yeah, they're not gonna do like clean singing anymore or anything, and then they release Sour and they're like, oh shit, okay, they
yeah. I
got
feel like
depth.
Sour's just kind of like a callback to like maybe the original fans, like like hey, we can
We
still
haven't,
do it, but
hey, we
you know,
haven't forgotten you.
yeah, yeah, exactly. As somebody who's been there since the first album, I guess not remembering all the singles that I listen to. I think Sour's my favorite,
Really? Out of all
but
the singles, right? Or
I
the
think
album?
just cause I think cause nostalgia and thinking back to like those days. But if we're talking about like the good shit, like the other songs are like I like the heaviness, but I appreciate Sour for what it is.
Sure, yeah. I feel like as an OG fan, like when you hear a song like that, it's like, oh man, they like haven't forgotten their roots. Because I think
Yeah,
sometimes it's like, as you know, I've listened to a ton of albums. Um, sometimes I'm like, as a fan, I'm just like, man, I really wish they would write a song that was like, a modern version of like my favorite album that they've done. And I feel
yeah.
like this was their like love letter to be like, guys, we still love you, OG fans. Bless up,
We got you,
we
fam.
got you. They're like, we got you with this heat track. But yeah, this one was fun. I like this one a
Mm,
lot. This one was definitely up there, and I think it sits super well next to Seamstress because I feel like those songs were like the most straightforward. So
I'd agree.
I like the fact that they're right next to each other in track listing, and like
Mm,
it perfectly splits the album like right down the middle in terms of like chaoticness. So I'm curious if Endless Hallway is just gonna like break my neck just with like
yeah,
the
I feel like this might be a
insanity.
turn back to the earlier songs.
All right, well, we're gonna get into track 8, guys. The title track, Endless Hallway. Let's give this bad boy a spin. All right, guys, that was track 8, the title song to the same record name, Endless Hallway by He's Legend. Check the links below to go pick up the album. It is out now, so go give it some love. But man, this one was cool. I like this one
Yeah, I
a
liked
lot
it.
too. I definitely, again, I know not to rehash an old point, but it definitely had that Avenged Sevenfold like backcountry vibe again.
I agree.
It
Yeah,
was very much in that lane, which again I'm all about because I feel like I haven't heard that sound in a little bit. So, but yeah, the
yeah.
riffs, the guitar riffs, oh, mega. This is I feel like this is a guitar person's like dream song. Like the riffs were on point.
Yeah, everything musically, vocally, like
Everything was just so chaotic. Well, it wasn't like I felt like it was like chaotic enough, but it wasn't like
controlled
it
chaos.
was very much controlled chaos. Yeah, 100%. Like there was still elements where I feel like they could have like went off and done something like really like obnoxious and really insane, but I'm kind of glad that they kept it a little bit more reserved on this song because I think it definitely lends itself to have like more of that structure to it. But it was like chaotic enough, like you said, structured
Mm,
chaos. So yeah, I like this one. I like this one a lot. I think it's a nice like mid ground between like um I'm trying to think of what song even kind of reminded me of. Um I really feel like it didn't really sound like it didn't sound like another song on the album, um but I do like that this one was like again straightforward but like fun. It was very engaging. I feel like the vocals were really cool. I like the melody in the chorus. Like I feel like he could have done. I feel like there was a way that he could have went vocally, but he went different. Like I feel like the melody went in a different way that I was like about because it was something that just didn't feel like he was um trying to do like the atypical like vocal melody. He like
hmm.
decided to go off the beaten path and do something different. So yeah, I like this one. This one was a fun one.
Yeah,
I don't
endless
think there's
always great.
I don't think there's really much else to say about it other than this is like big shouts to their guitar player, Adam. He is a
Killing it.
wizard. A wizard. Yeah, so big shouts to Adam. He is ripping it right now. But yeah, I like it. This one was a good one. I don't think there's anything bad about I can say about this one. I really honestly feel like there wasn't anything bad I can say about this album thus far, to be fair, either.
Nah, it's solid.
But Endless Hallway, guys. Let's that one was a good one. So we're gonna move it on to track number 9, which is Time's Fake. Let's give this one. I feel like this one's gonna be a chaotic nightmare. I'm waiting. I'm waiting for that one song on this album that's just gonna be like nuts. So I'm hoping it's this one. So let's move it on to track 9, Time's Fake. Guys, that was track 9, Time's Fake. Woo! What a
That was a fun
heater.
one.
Woo! That was great. That riff at the beginning is probably my favorite guitar riff, honestly.
Mm,
That that was so sick. I love this one. This one was super fun. It had that again that like southern metal vibe to it. Again, I don't want to keep. I think his vocals remind me so much of like Avenged Sevenfold now.
Yeah, I was gonna say this one, like, probably, like, once we got to, like, a minute into it, I was like, this one's feeling a lot like A7X, which isn't bad.
It's
They're a
not
good
bad,
band.
yeah.
So,
Like,
you know,
I
it's
feel like
no.
A7X doesn't sound like this anymore. So I mean, listen, if you want to,
Yeah,
if you
somebody's
want
got
to,
to supply it.
somebody's got to find the niche, you know. So,
Yeah.
but God, yeah, this one was ripping out the gate. Like I really did like that guitar riff. That's probably my favorite one, and I think they just made it really interesting. Like that breakdown was super sick too, with like the dissonant, like you could hear the like dissonant
Yeah,
guitar
in the
chords
background.
in the
Mhm.
background, and then just like the guitar up front was just super. I just think the layering on this album is so good. I do feel like the problem with listening to it one time through is that there's shit that I didn't pick up on, and that I know for damn sure that I'm going to listen to this album again and be like, fuck, there was some really cool parts in this song that obviously won't remember now because we've only listened to it one time. So, but yeah, this one was a heater. I like that this one was they're getting back into the chaotic shit again because this one was
Yeah.
definitely like more chaotic, and I'm about it.
Mm.
Was there any
Yeah, no,
other points, Nick, you had about this song specifically, or
nah, I really like this one. Just, you know, kind of old school A7X vibes. Like it.
yeah, who doesn't love say
Like you said with
A7X?
the notes during the was it the breakdown where it was in the
Yes, yeah.
background, the high ones? Yeah. That was really cool. I like that. How they,
Also, that
like you
like
said, the layering and everything's great.
yeah, and then also that like I know they only did it one time, but that like pinch harmonic was just so
Hmm.
fucking sick. You know, that just
At
like
the right time.
that just sold me. I was already like, man, this riff's tight, and then they hit you with like like a little pinch harmonic. Bam, I was sold. I was like cutting the check to he is legend right now. I was just like, here you go, guys. Yeah,
That's
but
for
yeah,
you.
this for you, baby. But yeah, I'm gonna have to. I feel like every song that I've listened to on this album has just like more insinuated that I need to pick this album up on my vinyl now because I know I'm gonna like love spinning this album, and
Yeah.
I should go back and see all the other albums. But man, this one. Ooh, I think this one is like I said at the beginning of this. I think this is good. Definitely gonna be in my albums of the year already. I can feel it. It just has
Not
that.
a single song's been bad. It's just a whole solid album.
And you
Nothing
know
but bangers.
I also know like I don't know how popular like he is legend is either. Like I don't know on a scale of popularity. Like I know they get tour like big like pretty decent tours, but like I don't really I don't really see like people being like, yeah, this is album of the year, man. Like there's no way. So I hope that this opens up. I hope this like puts this on people's radar, honestly, because this album, like you said, it's been all bangers. Like I legitimately have been sitting here with you and listening to this, and I've just been like, man, all these songs are heat. Like why did I sleep on this album?
Yeah. Nah, it's great. Do you have Spotify, right?
I do have Spotify. I use
Can
it
you
at
check their
work.
monthly listeners?
Yeah, let me take a
Because
look.
I went to do that, but I'm not logged in on my phone, so.
It's all good. Let me see. They because I feel like they're popular. Like if you mention them, I feel like they have a popularity to them. But like I also feel like they're really niche though.
It could be.
They have
I
100.
remember,
Go ahead, Nick.
I was gonna say, I remember in high school listening to him, I could be like, oh, yeah, what you listen to? He is legend. And be like, oh, who's that? So, you know, it could just be one of those things where it's like, you know, they
You
have
if
a
you know,
huge
you know.
following, but it's a
Yeah,
very, like, the people
tight
that
knit.
know. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
if you're not in the circle, you a lame.
Yeah, you a lameo. You're a lameo. But I mean, in terms of their popular releases, like Endless Hallway is number one. I Am Hollywood is two, and then Few is the last one on the top on their top four for popular releases. So I guess Few is was released in 2017. So that must have been a pretty solid record for that to be up there. I feel.
Hmm.
because I don't know if like their older catalog is like as popular as that, um, but yeah, they have 151,000 monthly listeners.
That's certainly not bad.
That's like not terrible, but I don't know. I guess comparatively, let me see. I guess another band. Let's try Prada. I'm curious what they're at. So Prada is at 871,000. So that's like
I mean,
that's a pretty big margin, I would argue.
yeah, I would
So
too.
maybe they're more like under. Let me try one more. I guess let's try. Like let's try 4 Years Strong. I just saw them. They have 562,000 monthly listeners,
562.
which is still like
Dang,
obviously less than Prada, but
that's
that's still a
still big.
lot. Yeah, that's still
Yeah.
big. So I don't know. He's like I don't know how, like I said, I don't know how popular this album is like amongst listeners, but man, this one I feel like is heavily slept on. So yeah, go
Hmm.
check it out. I think this is fantastic so far. So we still got three more songs. So this could tank, and all three of these last songs could be shit. But I have a good feeling they're not
I don't
gonna
think they're
be.
gonna.
I
Yeah,
don't.
I think it's
It
gonna keep.
This is a trendsetter right here. So let's get into track 10, guys. This one is Sinkhole. So I have a feeling this one's gonna be nuts. I don't know. Getting a vibe. Picking up on a vibe. So track 10, Sinkhole. Guys, that was track 10, Sinkhole. Wow,
So
what
good.
a God. Oh my God. This is nuts. This is very much a nuts album.
Another one.
Another another heater, man. Oh my God. It did feel very like I don't know. I kind of sounded like it kind of had like a Metallica feel, if I'm gonna be honest. Like the way that like the beat was kind of hidden. It kind of had
That's what
like
you're feeling. It was because I knew it. I knew I felt some, but I couldn't put my finger on it.
I feel like it was like very Metallica-esque, you know? Like I feel like it was a very like James Hetfield, like kind of like I could hear that in a Metallica song, like that kind of
Okay.
like the
Well.
drum, like hi hat, like bum
Mm,
bum 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 bum, yeah, like that kind of beat. But man, yeah, this one was great, and then that breakdown at the end was just eviscerating.
so good.
That
Yeah.
was real tight, especially with the dissonant chords.
Yeah.
That was fire. I like that. That was great. Oh
I'm so
man,
happy that this album is good throughout.
you know what? Honestly, that's what I was thinking. Like the same thing. I was just thinking like, there's so much complexity to this album that I feel like again, and I want to stress this enough is that people should honestly give this album a listen through multiple times because there was some stuff that I was just like, what's going on here? Like I need to kind of like listen to this album again and get more of a feel for it. But I love the lead guitar part and that chorus. Like that was really tight. Again, felt
Hmm.
very like as Nick said, it felt very like Herman Lee of Dragon Force, kind of like that,
Yeah.
that like that tappy lead part. That was nice. But I think they like I appreciate that they try to sneak shit in. Like it's not
Hmm.
like it's like okay, yeah, like you're listening to the song, but if you're really listening to it like with intention, you'll be like, oh
Yeah.
man, like there's some really cool parts in
You
here
catch
that
the
I didn't
little
pick up.
stuff they sneak in.
Little Easter eggs, you know. So I like that. You know, I like that. That was cool. So I'm about this song. Uh, I don't know, man. I feel like this is gonna be hard for me to like tier list all these songs out now when we getting
Yeah.
close to the end. They're
It's
all
like the
so
ones in
good.
the beginning. Yeah, the ones in the beginning were like so heavy and good, and some of these other ones are a little bit more chilled out, but I would argue they're just as good.
Oh, 100%. Like I think
So
that
it's,
they
yeah, tiering this would be hard. You'd have to almost break it down in the category, like brutal category, stuff like
I feel
that.
I feel like the second half of the album is like more refined, you know. I think like the
Oh, yeah.
first half of the album is like real like in your face aggressive shit. And I feel like the second half after you get through like Seamstress and Sour, I feel like this is like a little bit more like again, there's still some like real fucking chaotic shit going on, but I think that there's like a little bit more of a restraint on it, I guess, if that makes sense. Because like I
It's more
haven't heard a
controlled.
song like I haven't heard like a song like Circus Circus on the second half of this album. So I feel like unless like Animals or I have a good feeling maybe Lord Slug might be just another just fucking
Lord
wild one.
Slug's gonna be a banger. That one's 5.5 minutes long, I
Ooh,
think.
God,
It's it's a big boy.
that's a
Yeah, oh no,
big
it's
honky.
11 seconds shy of 6 minutes. It's 5 minutes
Jesus
and 49
Christ,
seconds.
that's a big honky. We like it.
Yeah.
But we're gonna moving on to track 11 unless Nick has some extra stuff to say about Sinkhole.
Nah, I mean just everything's been great so far. I'm happy.
This is very like again, this is very much up there I think on albums of the year. I have a good feeling
Yeah.
about this sticking that up there because man, I don't think I've been I don't feel like I have been enthralled in an album other than maybe like and I wasn't even really like even for Murray, like I loved like I feel like I love Goblin Hours now, but I wasn't like 100% on board like when I first listened to it. But now
Yeah,
like
same.
now listening to it, I'm like, okay, this shit's good. Same with
Yeah,
like
I've
the
had it on
Avoid
repeat.
same like with Avoid's newest album. I listened to that on stream and I literally have not stopped listening to it since I streamed it last week. So I feel like that's a pretty good indicator of a good
And
album.
that's Avoid, you said?
Avoid, yes.
Okay. I still
It's
I still gotta listen to them too. What was the other band I said I gotta look up?
Gray. Oh,
Gray
here we
Haven.
go. It's a perfect time to
Gray
plug Gray
Haven.
Haven. Check them out. This one I have not. I've listened to this one a lot, but I would say that Cult. I would say that Cult America's good, but I feel like a more refined album are their other two releases, which is Empty Black and um, God fuck, I forget the name of it. Now I'm gonna have to look it up because now I'm gonna be an
Eh.
asshole and not remember it. Um, this bright, I think it's like This Bright and Beautiful World. Yeah, yes, I was correct. Okay, cool. I'm not a total idiot. So, but yeah, this is up there. I think He Is Legend's really smashing it right now. So, big
One
shouts.
thing one thing I will say is like as an original like fan of theirs back when they first put out I Am Hollywood. I Am Hollywood is kind of just like this album where you could just listen straight through. It's a completely solid album. There's not a single song on there I hate. I'd say just about the same with Suck Out the Poison. Suck Out the Poison was really
Okay.
good. And It Hate You was also good, but there were a couple of songs on there that I'd skip. So like and then you have the other album, Heavy Fruit, Few, White Bat, and I've not had too much time listening to them, but to go from that to like this whole album being nothing but bangers, I'm like, yes, get it.
Yes, King. Love it. You know.
Yes.
So,
Uh,
man, this is great. We are two songs away from finishing out this album, so very excited, but let's give Animals a listen, guys. All right, guys, that was track 11, Animals off of He Is Legend's newest album, Endless Hallway. Links in the description to go pick it up. Man, this one is cool. I like that intro.
yeah,
That intro is super fucking rad.
intro is nice. The guitars towards the end were really dope.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. I like to just like the space. I'm curious what like beats per minute this song was because I feel like it's slow as shit, but it just like grooves super hard.
Hmm.
Like it's just like got this perfect like kind of like almost like mellow nature to it. Like in terms of like not I wouldn't say like the actual like guitar riffs, but it doesn't feel like there's like all the songs I feel like prior to this one had just straight out of the gate. It's just like fast paced, like in your face, like chaoticness. This one was like just like the right amount of speed to it, but also at the same time, like the riffs on it were like really interesting. I love the usage of like space in between like the riff because I feel like very easily they could have just made this like a really fun, fast riff. But I like the fact that they just slowed it down and just hit you with like kind of like a real southern metal kind of vibe to it, you know?
Yeah, it reminded me a lot of the beginning. Definitely reminded me of like the tracks off of Suck Out the Poison.
Yeah, okay. I did hear you mention that, but I wasn't sure if you were gonna like continue on with that thought process or not.
Yeah, no, it's just because their first album was like, I don't know how to describe their first album. Because I wouldn't say it's like how this stuff sort of sounds like Southern rock. I wouldn't describe their first album as Southern rock. But their second album's definitely like really Southern rockish.
Okay.
So, I mean, that's a shit description, but
No. I feel like
that's just how I feel. I feel
I
like
feel like
it
maybe
reminds me a lot of Suck Out the Poison.
okay. So, and what you obviously you put I Am Hollywood first. So, would you say "Suck Out the Poison" is a good like second album to listen to from He
Oh
Is
yeah,
Legend?
totally.
Okay.
Yeah, because the vocal transition from going to like the higher cleans to getting the grittier cleans was like that's what made it like southern rock for me and what made me like continue to listen to them because first album is really good. Like I still go back to that one and listen to that to this day, but the second album is where it got more like country
More
rockish.
vibey. Yeah, I got you.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one was insane. I again the little choir like group vocal part was really nice. I think it added a lot of depth to um Schuler's voice, which was really cool. But yeah, this one was a fun one. I think this one, I think by far off of all of the songs on the album, I feel like this one was the most different, which isn't a
Yeah.
bad thing, but like tempo wise, like everything was just a little bit more fast paced than this one. And this one, I think, again, very similarly, maybe it might be intentional, honestly, because I feel like you said earlier, when we were talking about Sour, like that was more like I Am Hollywood. I feel like this
Mhm.
song was maybe more of an like homage to like Suck Out the Poison, like people who have been OG fans of the band.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd agree on that.
So nice callback. I haven't listened to either of those two albums, so I feel like I am a little
Just
lost on
speed
that
run them.
one. Just speed.
Speed run them later. Just put all their
I'm
songs in a
gonna, I'll just
playlist and
yeah.
just go
Well,
through.
we're gonna GDQ it. Just like you guys. All right, listen. I'm gonna put my headphones on, and as soon as I put my headphones on, the timer starts, and then I just have to speed run through the album. That'd be pretty funny. I don't think I'd ever do that because I feel like
Yeah,
I
do it
haven't
on live stream. Be the
I
first to
haven't
do it.
I have enough character to not do that. I'd like to take my time with albums, but yeah, this one was fun. I think arguably it is the most different off the entire
Mhm.
album, but still nonetheless a solid banger. So, all right, guys, we have hit the fateful moment. The last song, Lord Slug, track 12, the big honky.
Big
So,
boy.
with the big chongus, let's give this bad boy a listen.
Banger.
Guys, that guys, that was track 12, Lord Slug, the final song off of He Is Legend's newest album, Endless Hallway. Check the links in the description to go pick it up. I don't know, Nick.
Zero
this is a
complaints.
zero complaints here. This wow. What a fucking honestly, probably similarly to you, I was a little concerned with this song being pretty practically close to 6 minutes long if I was gonna be engaged throughout the entire 6 minutes. I
Same. Yes.
can
That's why I
confirm.
mentioned it because I was like, it's either gonna be the banger or a stinker or something. I don't know, but it delivered. It delivered for me. I
Man,
am no issues with any song on this album.
God, and also that like this scream. You thought it was just gonna be heavy, and then they hit you with the like fucking
Hit you with that
layered
scream.
scream on top of that at that second breakdown portion. Oh, that was sick. And that last chorus where they like layered his gritty vocals, his cleans, and screams all on one vocal track chain.
Hmm.
I can't. I have, for not knowing anything about this band, this has been the highlight I think of 2022. Honestly.
Yeah. You know, it's a solid album.
Oh
From
man,
beginning to finish, there's not a single song
I
I
just
wouldn't
like
skip.
yeah. They're all heat. Honestly, that's like no Johns at all. Like I legitimately think that all of these songs are great. Like I think even more so like for not knowing anything about this band prior to listening to this album, I can say with a surety, like, this album is so fucking good. So, yeah,
After we started in on Lord Slug, I had thought if you want to like not like we were joking earlier, but like if you wanted to kind of like speed run it to see like just how they changed over the first three albums, uh, there's China White 2, and China White 3, and it's like a story,
yeah.
part 1, 2, and 3, but they're so different in how they sound. So that's
Oh,
like,
yeah.
as I was thinking of the joke speed running it, you actually kind of could.
You,
'Cause they have a song that's in on a story.
you could speed run
So
it.
yeah, you could speedrun at least those three. But
Okay,
no,
great.
they're all really good songs, but they're so different at the same time.
I like that though. I think it shows off the versatility of the band and how they've grown. And I think
Hmm.
with this album, like I think when you start off the album with Prowler and you're expecting one thing, and then you get to this last song, Lord Slug, and it's like completely different from starting point A to starting point B. I think that that's great. Like obviously, it's still within like the He Is Legend kind of like vibe, but
Hmm.
I think that they like somehow incorporated like some really just like heavy shit that I was not even really remotely expecting from this band. Granted, like again, I had a very limited knowledge of He Is Legend to begin with, but
Hmm.
uh this one was fire. I think this is again, I would argue this is pretty damn close to album of the year, and I've
I would
only
say
been through
that.
one listen. So I feel
Yeah,
like this one's gonna be very much up there. At least I can say with this surety, it's definitely gonna be in top 10, 100%. There's no doubt.
yeah,
Um,
yeah. And like you said, it's funny how the album goes because you start off so fucking heavy that you start with the Prowler. By the time you get to Sour, it shifts gears and gets a little bit more controlled, and then by the time you're to Lord Slug, it's just straight filth.
yeah, it was.
It was
Uh,
great.
I gotta give a shout out to my homie Jordan. He's in this band called Picturesque, so go give him some love. But uh, he commented on my post on Instagram, so I'm pulling it up now. But he said, what did he say? He said, listening right now, I feel like these are the sludgiest, heaviest songs they've written, but he's singing more on this one. He's always got a fry in his voice, but this record, he just seems more clean. I like it though. So shout outs
Hmm.
to Jordan, my
I
guy.
agree. I
But
agree
yeah,
with your guy.
my guy Jordan, the boy. But also shout outs to Nick for enduring this very long session of music review with me. But I don't know. I feel like I don't want to pick favorites off this album, but I mean, if I really had to deliberate, oh man, that's tough. I still think Return to the Garden is up there.
Top three.
I would say it's top three. Um, Circus Circus, and I probably have to go with this last song. I think Lord Slug. I think that one narrowly beats out maybe like either I really liked Times Fake and Sinkhole. I thought those were also really good too.
Those were
I
good. Yeah.
I think it's tough. Like they're all so nuanced, and I think for the sheer fact that the first, like I said earlier, the first half of the album is so chaotic that it's just
Hmm.
like, oh man, I love that just chaotic energy. But I feel like it'd be hard pressed to not throw Lord Slug on the list because it's
Oh,
like
you got to.
it's a 6 minute banger. Like I don't know how you can have a song, have someone be engaged for 6 minutes. I think that's very difficult. So I think that's
Especially
why it moves up.
today, nowadays,
Oh
songs
yeah.
being like 2 minutes and 30 seconds long and less. Yeah, no. It's, yeah, if I had to say a top three, I'd say Lord Slug.
At one? Or are these in not in
I
order?
think number one. I think number one's got to be
Wow.
Lord Slug, just
All right.
because it,
Respect.
like you said, engagement for 6 minutes. That's like
That's
you
high
gotta give it
praise.
to him.
High praise. Highest praise. Yeah.
Yeah, Lord Slug. Probably gonna go. Cause Sinkhole was really good too, though. But I like Sour so much. I gotta do Lord Slug, Circus Circus, and Sour.
Ooh, okay.
Because I
Keeping
feel
the
like wasn't a Sinkhole the one that I was saying kind of reminded me of a Suck Out the Poison. I think it was Sinkhole, or was it
No,
Time's
so
Fake?
suck out the poison was animals.
It was Animals. Okay, so yeah, because those two, the Sour
The
for being more
callbacks,
kind of like, yeah.
the
Ah, but Circus
nostalgia.
Circus was so good.
I know.
Circus Circus and Sour are gonna be my top three.
It's so tough. Like I think this one A requires more than one listen. I think we are gypping ourselves by doing this live and only say listening through to it once. Obviously we will listen to it more times after this, but
I ain't gonna stop listening.
we're never gonna actually after this is done, then we're just gonna listen to it again. But no,
Repeat.
on repeat. But I man, I was so not sure about how this album was gonna land. Not because I don't think that He Is Legend is not a good band. I just was not familiar with their work, and sometimes like when I have a band I'm not familiar with, I'm like, yeah, I'm like, how's it gonna sit with me? And I feel like this one was just like again the surprise of 2022 for me because I feel like I would be very dumb if I didn't decide to review this album. So I'm glad that I decided to take the chance and review this one because I feel like I would have been really fucking stupid if I didn't review this album with
I'm
Nick,
glad you
obviously.
had me on.
Yeah,
Because I'm thinking like for me, He Is Legend goes back to 2004. So like, I don't know. I'm
they're almost
surprised that
20.
there's a band that I've listened to for so long that you haven't like heard anything from. I think that's probably the most surprising about it.
It's not
There's a
that
lot of music I either stumble upon or you tell me about, and this is just one that I've known since high school.
it's not that I want to preface it's not that I didn't know about He Is Legend. I just knew that you talked about He Is Legend a lot and I just never really gave them the time of day and that's maybe just partially for me having to listen to a ton of music.
You
But
got a loaded plate.
I do very much have a loaded plate, but I felt like with this one I was like I have to get Nick on to listen to this album with me because I feel like if anything he's going to have the most enjoyment out of it. But I feel like we both equally had a ton of enjoyment out of this
Hell yeah.
album. So
I'd do
I
it
think it's
again.
a dubs in the chat, you know. So but yeah, I've like I said earlier, I feel like I would have been really dumb if I didn't review this album. So I'm glad that it was on my radar and that I wanted to review it because this is I'm gonna put it out there. Definitely think it's like top 10 of this year, 100%. There's no way it's not
Same.
gonna remain in that top 10. Depending upon where it's gonna be at in top 10, I have yet to decide, but I have like roughly a month to figure out where I'm gonna place it. But so I'm gonna have to again speed run this album a ton. But yeah, I think this is great. I think this is really good, and I think everybody should go check it out. Obviously, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna get demonetized with this video, but I'm gonna cut out all the songs, and obviously, you won't be able to see our reactions, but you'll be able to hear our thoughts on the album. So that's the most important thing. So,
Ooh, you know
um,
what?
what's up?
You should do like a Patreon thing, where like
Oh
because you
yeah,
could
yeah.
probably keep it up on the Patreon,
I
right?
could keep it up on the. I could possibly. I don't know. It depends. I'd have to see. I'd have to see. I don't know. Well, we'll figure it out. I will either
Figure it
way,
out.
either way.
Yeah.
But yeah, please go check out He Is Legend. All of their social media, as well as a link to go buy the record, is in the description. Please go check them out. Also, mega thanks to Nick, longtime friend, my best friend, one of my best friends, 100%. And again, if you want to travel back in time and watch some of our first episodes of Audio Addiction, please don't because they're
Don't
not great. They're
don't do
not
it.
great, but they're still on. They're still on the YouTube channel if you do enough digging. So, if you want to punish yourself by watching those, then you can absolutely do that. But again, shout outs to Nick. Nick, I don't feel like you have. Do you have anything you can plug?
No, not really. Nope, just me
Just
being here.
Nick. Just follow him on Instagram. He's great. He doesn't post a lot, but he's a homie. So
Yeah, I'm privated, so I probably won't follow. I gotta make a different social. I gotta make a new Instagram that I can do
do shit with.
like more public stuff with, like posting albums, because mine's just too convoluted at this point.
It's
It's
all
got
right.
shit from all over the place.
Mine
So
is just the channel, so I don't have a. Well, I do have a personal Instagram, but I don't. I'm pretty sure I deleted it. So, but Yeah, this one was great. Let us know what your favorite songs are in the comments down below or in the live chat. Obviously, that will be ending very soon. So let us know in the comments what your favorites are. And if you were equally surprised with this record, because I feel like if you're an OG fan, you might be surprised with how good this album is. I know Nick was. So go check it out. Go check out He Is Legend. Links in the description. If you like these videos, make sure to subscribe, hit the thumbs up, share it. It means a lot. I would really do appreciate it. And I am pretty close to hitting 500,000 views on YouTube, which is insane to me. So if you want to make that happen, I'd love you. And
That
that'd be
love you.
really sick. And I want to thank everybody that's been subscribing recently. It's been a blessing, and honestly, it just makes me tear up because I feel like now I'm finally getting like the motive. I feel like the winds are in the sails, and we're continuing that trek. So always appreciate the love. But huge thanks again to Nick for coming on. And if you want to see him on more videos, maybe I can convince him to come on again to do
Yeah,
another video. So
this was fun as hell. I'll do it again.
there we go, guys. So thank you for joining the stream. If you love the video, make sure to share it. Also, tag He Is Legend. That'd be very sick. I'd love for them to see it and comment. I don't know if they would, but that would be very cool. So go check them out if you haven't. Thank you guys for watching. And again, Nick, thanks for joining us. Have you on again very soon.